To the Fontana 2020 NASCAR chat with Hamm, the engine man, and beer man.
Hello, everybody.
All right, if you don't know me, I was a 25-year. I got to remember, I got a microphone. 25-year NASCAR retired engine builder. That feels good to actually say that. I was a 7-year jackman and owner of Hamscapes, and I guess you could say radio personality here at WAME with the WAME Chillbillies. So check us out on the Facebooks. And check out the DHammiam.com and to keep up with all the stuff. And give us a like if you like on this post right here.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because then I'll have to keep texting you the messages and the links, right?
You know, that's a good point.
Yes.
That's a great point.
If you subscribe, you're all in.
Yes. You subscribe and you hit that bell notification.
Yeah,
that way,
baby.
When we go live, you get a ding on your phone and it tells you we are live. So there you have it. And I was trying to get Tom to do a call in, and he called, but all I could hear was the busy signal. And
we'll work on that.
I think, we got to work on all that stuff, because I was going to try it, and at least you could say I did try it.
Right.
But the way that this board is wired in, and I was talking to our engineer, Mike, that wires in all this stuff. So when I start doing my NASCAR live chats at the other place, I'm going to have it to where we can hear Tom, and I don't have to wear the headphones or something like that. We'll get it figured out.
We can have people call in and ask questions too.
That's what I want to do. I want to be able to call
Plus
in.
the YouTube live.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to have it covered both sections.
I think so. So that'll be very cool.
Really cool.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to it.
So tell us what happened at California Speedway, otherwise known as Auto Club Speedway.
Auto Club. Yes. That was, okay. So the top 10 for that race, we had 4 Chevrolets, 3 Toyotas, and 3 Fords.
In the top 10.
In the top 10. So it looks like the Chevrolets are back this year, especially compared to last year and the year before and the year before.
I tell you, the Chevys are coming strong again.
Yeah. So there was, all right. So Alex Bowman won the race, as you know.
The 88.
Kyle Busch second, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski fifth, Denny Hamlin sixth, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, and Eric Jones rounding out the top 10. So the total purse for the Auto Club 400 exceeded more than $7 million. And I don't know, where do they come up with this total purse? Is that how much the drivers get? Is that how much the sponsors put in?
Sponsors, tickets, merchandise, souvenirs, concessions.
Yes. So, actually last year, this is kind of a parody thing right here. Last year, Joe Gibbs Racing won 19 of the 36 races.
Yeah.
Now this year, all 3 manufacturers have won at least one of the 3 races. I mean,
So that's parity.
It's just,
we got parity.
So Denny Hamlin, Toyota at Daytona so far this year, Joey Logano at Las Vegas, and then Alex Bowman this past weekend in Fontana. So Alex Bowman was the fastest in the first and the second practice.
Yes, he was the car to beat all weekend. He didn't win qualifying, but he did win both practices.
And we got together on Saturday and Sunday, which is somewhat unusual, but I know it's probably
pound some beers, baby,
because you're getting ready to head back south, I suppose.
Where it's warm.
He's already homesick.
Yeah, got to go on my boat, do some fishing.
That would be the opposite of boat sick. Like you're missing your boat.
Yes.
That's cool, man.
People say the 2 best days in boating are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Well, I say the 2 best days are the 2 worst days of the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Yeah. All the days in between are your best.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming down there and hanging out with you.
That's right.
But that boat doesn't run on thanks. Do you go by that philosophy?
Oh yeah.
It
runs on cool Coors Light.
Okay. So
that's right.
I'll bring some Blue Mountains.
Yeah. Don't drink them if the mountains ain't blue.
All right. So Martin Truex Jr. failed inspection 3 times. How about that? And was not allowed to take qualifying laps Saturday and started at the back of the pack.
Yeah, he did.
And it looked to me like he was struggling some.
Yeah. He had a bad pit stop. I think one of the pit crew guys broke their hand or something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Remember they had the smokes over there. Yep.
Yeah. So this says, Scott Harrison says hello from the WAME World Headquarters in Statesville, North Carolina. This is actually where it all started.
This is the World Headquarters, and let's give a plug to Billy Buck.
That's right.
Thank you, Billy, for letting us do the show here tonight. We really appreciate it. And Billy, I just realized over there on the album of Kenny Rogers and Dottie West, I didn't know Kenny had a brother that looked just like Billy.
Oh, I hadn't showed you that, have I?
Yeah, look at that. Billy, you're famous. Thank you, Billy.
All the picture there. Billy's, yes, we took a picture. Our Kudzy took the picture of Kenny Rogers and Dottie West and put Billy Buck's face over Kenny Rogers. It turned out really good.
It looks really, I didn't even notice it last week until now. I was like,
yeah,
that's Billy Buck. Billy's the owner of WAME, if anybody doesn't know. So
yes, and he actually started working right here in 1975.
Yep.
And then eventually got to the point where he could buy this building and the tower. The tower's out back of this
Maybe
building.
we try to get Billy Buck on the NASCAR live chat and let him tell some of his old NASCAR stories.
That probably would be a good idea.
We might have to do it a little earlier, though.
Yeah. Now, do y'all hear? Y'all don't hear Scott's phone echoing, do you? Because I can hear that.
Oh, you can. Okay, I'm just keeping it down low. I'll put it back down again.
All right. What's up, Tommy Falls? Tommy just called me on the FaceTime. He was down in Charlotte at the I think he said it was a Thirsty Beaver Saloon. That's where the our boys Jason Moss and the Hosses play down there. And Linda Jinks, hello, and Nancy Davidson, Rachel Rodman, Terry Quinn out in Oklahoma. Thanks for spreading the links, everybody. Linda Jinks, if I didn't say your name,
okay.
Tom Robinson up in Indiana. Like I said, I was going to try to get Tom to do a call in, but we got to get all that stuff figured out. If he called in, y'all would be able to hear him, and we wouldn't be able to hear him. So it probably,
we'll figure it out.
We might have to screen him a little bit.
We'll figure it out.
Just kidding, Tom. Yeah, we'll get it figured out. But Mike Bear, what's up? And then Paul Rodriguez. I think I saw Paul on it. Yeah, there he is. Yep.
Yeah,
and,
Paul's on there.
Brad Downer is on here with us too. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. If I missed your name, pop it down on there so I can see it.
So how about the Auto Club 400's Jimmy Johnson tribute continues? They did a pretty good job on doing a little tribute for our boy Jimmy Johnson. I know he drives a Chevy and all that, but Jimmy's done some good stuff. I got a few stats about Jimmy Johnson. Did you know, David Hamm? Did you know that Jimmy Johnson has completed every lap possible since his career started? He wasn't a lap down. He didn't wreck. He finished on the lead lap every single race that he competed at the California Speedway.
At California.
Yep.
Okay.
Auto Club Speedway. Yep.
How about that? That's his hometown track, I guess you could say.
So I really wish he could have pulled it off. He ran in the top 5 all day yesterday.
I know.
Top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
And it had his wife and his 2 daughters waving the green flag to begin the race. And then one of his buddies was driving the honorary pace car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we saw that in the beginning of the race.
I didn't see the very beginning there.
Yeah.
I think I was in transition.
And time out. We got to give a shout out to the national anthem singer yesterday, man. That little girl nailed it. I put it on my Facebooks this morning, man. Mm-hmm. You got to check that out. If you didn't see the national anthem, you'll see it. Just Google through that. She did an awesome job.
I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
I think I missed that too.
Oh, dude.
I believe I was driving to your house about that time.
Yeah, I think you were. Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah. She did an awesome job. So, yes.
Turns out I should have left sooner.
So, what else you got there?
All right. So, Terry says that salutes to him. Choked me up a little. And Rachel says the little girl was amazing.
Yep.
Yes. And, but, all right. So, Kurt Busch lost his car chief after 2 failed inspections, as well as losing the 15 minutes at Phoenix Raceway this next weekend. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on, a lot of failed inspections.
Well, they were pushing it
cracking down
this week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
they're cracking down on it, right?
Both the Doherty cars, I think, got busted for something too.
And we're going to talk about the whole lug nut thing. The news just came out.
Oh yes,
soon. We'll get into that when we're
breaking news.
Yeah, basically, I should have done this in the very beginning, but I'm going to do the finishing order, the rundown of the race, the NASCAR Xfinity Truck Series news, announcements, Q&A, a cold beer, warm beer, and then of course the point standings, and then so that's kind of the lineup where we're going to go through things. All right, so Ryan Preece and the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse to the rear for L1 penalties, illegal body modifications, part systems, devices, omissions, or component failure cannot affect what should otherwise be normal airflow over the body of the vehicle. Is basically how it went down. So both crew chiefs were ejected and 10 points taken from each as well. And so Denny Hamlin went to the back, changed a shock absorber. So I'm not going to go through lap by lap. I got like 11 pages of notes here, but Alex Bowman wins stage 1.
Alex Bowman, yep.
And then let's see, Bowman led 110 of 200 laps, and this was his second career Cup win. Most of Bowman's led laps, the 88 laps he led last year when he won at Chicagoland. Alex Bowman passed post-race tech. Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer each had an unsecured lug nut. No cars were taken to R&D.
Oh,
yes. So breaking news, speaking of a loose lug nut, they're going to go to single lug nuts in 2021.
No.
And you know what? Someone asked me about
really?
this. Yeah. Don't seem so surprised. Someone asked me about this a long time ago. I don't know, maybe a year ago. And I was like, I just don't see NASCAR doing that. But I mean, it's a change in the times.
This Gen 7 car, dude, is going to be different with the independent rear suspension, right?
For sure. Right. Yes.
With the wider tire.
Yeah.
Now the single lug nut. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the aluminum wheel, bro.
Yeah.
Not just the steel wheel. It's going to be the aluminum, like the finger wheels, you know? So that's going to be what's going to happen when they hit the wall. Is that aluminum going to break, or is that going to hold up as strong as steel?
Right. Is it going to be as strong as the steel? They got
some testing to do still.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But
will the gas take longer than to change tires now? Are they going to be waiting on the gas?
Probably.
Or are they going to make the gas filler quicker and make quicker pit stops?
Yeah.
I look at it this way. They're not going to need these professional athletes to go zing, 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 right?
Yes.
All the big, because all of a sudden, if it's aluminum wheel, it's going to be 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be lighter. You don't need to be big and buff, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be hitting them instead of hitting all five. All you do is hit once. Yeah. But a lot of those tire changers, before they even get on their knees, they've already got the trigger squeeze. Actually, it's the triggers like this, right? Mm-hmm. And they squeeze that thing in there, and they got the RPMs already, and they boom, 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 right?
Yes.
Now, from what I'm hearing from, I listened to on the radio today, they got to engage that nut before they even hit the button, right? So it's going to be precise. Zing, it's going to come off, right?
And yes.
And then when that big nut comes off, what are they going to do? Are
they going to have another nut on the other tire? Yeah, I'm not sure. And
how are they going to do that?
Like you said,
they going to be a glue one, but then that big nut falls off. And you know as well as I do, pitting cars, when those cars roll over those lug nuts, bing, they start flying.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of working out to do. But when NASCAR came out, what happened was they tested it today. This was the third test with the Gen 7 car, and they realized that if they were going to test it and put the single lug nut on, the media was going to take pictures, and the cat was out of this bag anyways. So here we go.
Okay, so and then we got one single lug nut on each side, and then the tire changers get done, and then they're still putting gas in the car. That's the other thing. So how fast of a tire changer do you really need?
Right.
I mean, and it's so, and like you said, you're going to need you don't really need the big burly. The tire changers could probably put their own tire on if that's the case. So we'll see how that works out. Somebody asked me about having the jack that was a one lever jack, not a pump. They brought me one of those jacks one time and wanted me to test it out. And it was just basically like an Indy car, stick it under there and pop it down. And it's just used as leverage. And I was like, nah, I don't think that'll ever fly in NASCAR. But you know what? Now if they're doing the one lug nut,
we're going to be merging with some IndyCar
2021
racing. So, it's okay. They're either going to hit a home run or they're going to be hitting some foul balls.
So John Probst says that on the move to the 18-inch center lock aluminum wheel, one of our main goals with the next gen cars to provide a vehicle that better replicates what our OEM partners sell in the showroom, both in looks and relevant technology. So once that decision was made to go that direction, they tested different lug options. With the loads on the larger wheels, we had to make sure that the wheel would remain securely fastened to the car, which is an aluminum wheel type issue too. I mean, it expands a lot more and it heats up. It transfers heat a lot quicker too. I don't know. So John Probst on the signal, how it affects pit stops. The choreography of pit stops won't change. He says it will still be important for the tire changer to get to the other side of the car. Hand-eye coordination remains extremely important. Just not as much as doing like this right here. In terms of timing, the torque is higher on a single lug. It will take approximately half a second to tighten a single lug. It takes 0.8 of a second to 1 second to tighten 5 lugs. Okay. I don't know about that.
I think they're going to, if we have any IndyCar fans, they might tell us. In IndyCar, they use the same lug nut, right? So they comes in, he takes it, zing, takes the nut off, puts the tire up, and then he's going to put that lug back on. That's what I think.
Yeah.
They're going to use the same lugs. What happens if you cross-thread it?
Yeah.
You ain't going to. Dude, most of them carry those nuts in their mouth. You know?
Oh, I know. You can't carry one of those.
Now you got
yeah. Tom says with the bigger aluminum wheel, it needs to have consistent pressure on the wheel, or they will crack, come apart, et cetera, et cetera.
There'll be less loose lug nuts. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering about too. You know, those aluminum wheels expand like even on a truck. They got to be like 140 foot-pounds.
But isn't an aluminum wheel more money than a steel wheel?
Yeah,
and they're trying to save money, but now they're going to spend more money on wheels.
Yeah, and then all the I don't know how it's gonna. I mean, the guns, the lug nut sockets, all that stuff.
They got a lot to work out.
Yes. There will be no more post-race lug nut check. I guess if you leave that loose, your wheel's going to come off.
Yep.
So there's no need for that. So Probe said more teams are in a favor of the move, which NASCAR hopes they will allow the teams to use multiple years instead of multiple races with the current steel wheels. Okay. The durability of the new wheel decreases by 30% with 5 lugs. All right. I'm not sure. There will be no more gluing nuts to the wheels, which will cut down on pre-race prep.
So that's it. They won't have it. They're going to use the same nut.
Yep. Teams will be changing tires less often because 5 lugs deliver more of a pounding than a single lug nut. NASCAR has no plans to adjust the pit crew size. Okay, then there you have it. That's all I got on that. The next gen car will be tested while William Byron is equipped with the single lug tires. Is that what you said happened today, or is that something
today?
else? Okay.
Yeah, William Byron tested in Fontana today.
Yeah. So and we're talking about the Wilkesboro. Plans are back on again in hopes of reopening the historic North Wilkesboro track. Trying to get NASCAR to return to the track closed more than 20 years ago.
Who started this?
I don't know, man. It's a rumor. I think it's
ain't gonna happen.
I don't see a cup race being there. I could see maybe some.
The only reason I think it's coming up on the radar is because they're looking for some more short tracks. Ironically, that are close to Charlotte. So next year they can do a Wednesday night race and then a Saturday or Sunday night race close by. So they could do Wilkesboro and then a Charlotte. But dude, it ain't happening.
It's going to take a lot of.
I mean, we all would love it. It's only 20 minutes up the road. We're actually in Statesville closer to North Wilkesboro than we are to the Charlotte track, right? It takes an hour to get over to Charlotte.
Yeah, I know.
Up here 20 minutes and we're drinking moonshine and watching them race up and down the hill in Wilkesboro.
Well, I know
I don't care how much money Bruton has. That place, they have little weeds that started when they closed. Those weeds are trees under the grandstand, dude.
Yeah, I know.
They got trees going in the infield.
Cracking up to the track and all that stuff. So
I don't see it.
Yeah. So parts of Speedway have fallen into disrepair, which is an understatement, but
not going to happen.
It will need millions of dollars in repairs and upgrades. That's probably just on the track surface. The $1 million. I mean, millions. All right. So Wilkes County said they are willing to help to get the track back up and running again. They want to sit down and talk with Marcus Smith, Bruton Smith, SMI, or whoever they need to talk to. I mean, if Wilkesboro gets in, I know it's hurt their economy.
Oh, yeah.
Not having it,
I
mean, they got Merle Fest.
Yep. Merle Fest. Merle Fest. Ever since the race, now Merle Fest is the biggest thing going on. And we're going to Merle Fest, ain't we?
Yeah, that's right. Heck yeah, man. We're definitely going. I'm going to camp out and whatever else. I need to practice my banjo.
We're going to go see Presley Barker.
Yeah.
Our buddy.
That's right. And the viewership was up at the for the Las Vegas race. And anyway, so William Byron will be behind the wheel at NASCAR's Monday and Tuesday. So I guess tomorrow he's racing at Auto Club for the latest scheduled test. So in 2007, Hendrick Motorsports won 18 races in 1 year, and Rick Hendrick jokingly made a comment to one of his representatives that media was probably tired of seeing him. Now he wishes he'd never said that. I mean, because he went through several years of not winning.
Dry spell.
Yes. So, but that happens, it cycles.
Yep.
Hendrick was at the top of the mountain from 2010 to 14 with 43 wins, championships just as easy. Yes, we got tired of seeing him every year. Jimmy Johnson after Jeff Gordon.
5 years in a row, baby.
Yes. But after the last 5 seasons, they've only had victory lane 25 times, and they only won 3 times in 2018. So they have not won a title since 2016 with Jimmy Johnson. Now the winning team is Joe Gibbs, who surpassed Hendrick's season winning record when they won 19 in 2019. Yes, I know that was a big year for the Toyotas.
JGR.
And we won with Ford. We won the championship.
Yep.
So, that was a good time for me to say adios. I mean, Go out while we win the championship.
Go out on top, baby.
That's right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So Hendricks is now one of those teams digging deep and battling for good finishes and wins. Actually, we won the 2018 championship, and then I bailed out in 2019. So, yeah, I was getting a little confused there. But, all right. So a lot of this stuff's about Hendrick, but I don't really want to talk too much about them. So Ryan Newman, who is still on the mend with his horrifying accident at Daytona, made a visit to Roush Fenway Racing on Wednesday and received a standing ovation from his crew that built the car he was driving. And I'm sure he told those guys, thank you so much for building this car and making sure the seat stayed in when it needed to stay, because we've seen some stuff in the past where, I don't know, I remember seeing stuff where the seat would come loose or the seat belt weren't pulled tight.
That's how Clifford Allison passed away. He got the seat broke loose. They was out of Michigan. There was a practice. I remember, I'll never forget it. It was a Friday. We pulled up, and next thing we know, the seat broke loose.
Wow, crazy stuff right there. I know, and I remember, there was times when the throttles got stuck on air cleaners and things like that. It was just a lot of
dangerous.
Yeah,
dangerous.
So that's the stuff you don't see as much anymore. But this car that they have now is a lot safer. That's for sure. All right, so we got some questions though. Lots of empty seats at Fontana, I thought. Nancy says, I think what they started doing, for one, they started taking out seats, which kind of helped to say, hey, we sold out, because they started adding seats whenever we got so busy years ago.
Yeah. Well, the weather was real sketchy out there for sure. I mean, it was kind of touch and go. And so Fontana, they usually rely on walk-up tickets that day, same-day tickets. And that probably kind of maybe shut them down. But the racing was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, them restarts like in Fontana, NASCAR's got that intermediate track figured out. That stuff was good. And there were a lot of loose cars, and they seem to straighten them up. You see them cars get out of shape, and boom, next thing you know, they're in there right in line.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's one thing we noticed when we were watching that race, man. They were able to just straighten right back out. And so Rachel says, I thought Dale Jr. just had Wilkesboro repaved.
No. Dale Jr. went up there and they cleaned it with some sweepers, and they did the I racing. They mapped it out for I racing. So I guess they put their cameras up there. And so now on I racing, you're going to race at North Wilkesboro, but no, he didn't repave it. They just cleaned it and cleaned off the weeds out of
the weeds out. Yeah.
Off the track.
That would have been big news.
Yeah, they had a picture of him on news, and he had the sweeper out there and everything, but it's still going to take not millions, I would say 10, 30, 40 million, maybe 50 million to get in Wilkesboro in shape.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more than just.
But still, millions. there's no hotels there. There's really nothing else there besides Merle Fest, which is once a year. Now, if they ran that race in conjunction with Merle Fest, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be some fun there.
Yeah, that would be.
You get some of the NASCAR people, but over there, and
some music
have some music in there.
Oh yeah,
that would be the ticket.
Yeah,
no, but that's out of our control.
Tommy Paul says Rockingham's the same way. I've seen pictures where the sand is eroding from under the sand.
Oh yeah.
And then Rachel says, thanks for your explanation there, Beer Man.
Yes.
And then Mike Bear says they also have work to do to the sewage, water, power, etc.
Oh yeah.
I just don't see it happening too expensive. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. And then David, do you think Paul was asking David, do you think that Brad will be back at Penske in 2021? I'm hearing rumors. Man, I thought Brad was a lifetimer there.
No, they're still looking for a replacement for Jimmy. And you never know. They may go with the veteran in Jimmy's case.
And I think too, it depends on how well Hendrick runs this year. Because
and you get somebody like Brad over there,
so far.
Look, Brad and Joey haven't been getting along for a while.
And that could be
they went to Disney together, but they still weren't singing Kumbaya. And
yes.
So I wouldn't never say never.
I know Rachel's like feeling sick about that thought of that.
I know.
Leaving, but,
I'm with you.
Can't that synergy be brought back to Penske? Rachel's asking. I don't know. I think that once the drivers get in that mode and they're thinking they're going to be leaving, it's kind of like when you're working a job, but there's a better job waiting for you. Your attitude kind of just a little bit.
The main thing is does he have Miller or the sponsor in his back pocket, right? I don't think Miller's even sponsoring. I think we talked about that. So
right.
Miller's probably gone.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going to either take one of the sponsors with him, or he's just going to go on his own and let Hendrick find a sponsor.
Right.
But
Because, you're
that's silly season. This is only the third race of the year now. Come on. We don't talk silly season until after Daytona or, July, August, right?
Yeah,
now.
I know. Starting already.
Yeah.
So Richard Childress Racing made their 300th start. It all began with the 1947 Plymouth $20 race car and a dream. Now Childress is entering his 51st year as a team owner and has 41 different drivers. Oh, wow. And so I think the team older than that it's the Wood Brothers, I guess, would be the
Petty's?
Yeah. Or Petty's, obviously. Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wood Brothers,
Petty's, Wood Brothers.
but the Wood Brothers didn't run every year. Petty's have running every year.
That's true. Yes.
So,
and if you look at David Pearson's record versus Richard Petty, David Pearson had a higher percentage, not by much,
right?
But as far as the races he ran to the races he won, yes. So the legendary Wood Brothers. All right. So a stat from TobyChristie.com. In 2020, no driver in the Cup Series has scored multiple top 5 finishes in 3 races ran so far this season. But RCR has 108 total wins. This has never happened in the history of the sport. That in 2020, no driver in the Cup Series has scored multiple top 5 finishes in the 3 races ran so far this season.
Wow. That's a pretty cool stat.
So that's never happened in history.
But
apparently
Ryan Blaney had some bad luck the last 2 races, right? I mean, 3 races. Ryan Blaney basically could be sitting at 3-0.
Yeah.
Right? He was in the front of Daytona. He was in the front run all day in Vegas. And then same thing yesterday. Then had the tire go down, pit stop. He's looking at 0-3. But he's simply, with a couple of breaks here and there, Ryan Blaney could be sitting at the top of the mountain at 3-0.
Right.
Think about that.
I know about that.
So Ryan Blaney is no fly by night. That son of a gun going to be doing some good
Tommy
stuff.
Foss says the Wood Brothers is the oldest racing team.
Okay.
And it does seem like that. I know Petty's is there close after, but it does seem like the Wood Brothers were around back in the beginning, 49, 48, somewhere in that range.
But the Petty's have run more races.
But they've run more, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So, I know all the years that I built for the Wood Brothers, they always were a part-time team.
Yeah.
But they always excelled in the plate tracks for the most part, the super speedways. All right. So Xfinity Series news. Congratulations to Harrison Burton on his first Xfinity Series win.
Congratulations.
And we were watching that. We were getting a little nervous. Of course, they kept showing Kim every lap, on top of the pit box.
the Burtons.
Yes.
We've known them for a long time. And it was good to see him do it. He didn't win it all in Kyle Busch's truck last year. And everybody kept saying, well, if you can't win in Kyle Busch's truck, you ain't going to be a driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he maybe have this Jimmy Johnson syndrome where Jimmy Johnson didn't win in the Xfinity or the Busch Series back then. And once he went to Cup, man, he was on. So Harrison Burton actually has 3 top 5s. He was in the top 5 at Daytona and Vegas, and he wins in California.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, Harrison Burton's an Xfinity driver, and he can handle it better than the truck.
Yeah,
they're totally different.
And there's
a step up,
right? And there's drivers that won in the Xfinity Series that hardly won in the Cup Series.
Yep.
Being Stenhouse, he won 2 championships.
Yeah,
moved to the Cup Series, and he's won 2 races, I believe.
Well, he gets a lot of things.
Yeah, yes. So Harrison's dad, Jeff Burton, also won the Xfinity, which would have been the Busch Series, making them the 8th father-son duo to win in this series.
And did you know 20 years ago, when I think it was 20 years ago, no, when California Speedway, maybe it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's already been.
Ward Burton,
yes,
Harrison Burton's uncle, won his first race.
California. It seems like I actually had that in my notes.
Yeah,
here.
See, look at that.
There's somewhere there. Yeah, here it is. Harrison won on Leap Day, February 2020.
Leap Day.
His uncle Wood won on Leap Day in 92.
See, there you go.
Yes.
How cool is that?
That is cool. So others that have done that were David and Larry Pearson, Joe and John Hunter Nemechek, Bill and Chase Elliott, Terry and Justin Labonte.
There you go.
Dave and Ryan Blaney, Dale Sr. and Dale Jr.
Justin Labonte. What happened?
I know. What happened with him? That's craziness.
Kind of like Jason Jarrett.
Well, Bobby Hamilton Sr. and Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Yeah.
What happened to Bobby Hamilton Jr.,
Yeah, he just got
Just got
Too much
tired of
fun.
it. And Jason Jarrett,
And Jason,
like you
he
said,
spots.
he spots. That's right. Yeah. I was, in a, that's another story. All right. Truck Series news. More on the Busch Bounty hashtag that Kevin Harvick and Marcus Lemonis.
That's right.
The owner of Camping World, right? Camping
Is
World.
it up to 150,000?
Put up to, well, it's over. Let's see. I got it right here. Lemonis put up to see what Cup drivers would step forward to run against to try to beat Kyle Busch in the Truck Series. Kyle said he didn't think that any Cup drivers would compete against him, as it cost $140,000 to rent one of the trucks for one race. He said it's not going to happen, as no one is going to pay to rent that truck to rent a truck. Busch said Clint Boyer can't rent a truck from him, as Busch is Toyota and Boyer drives for Ford. Little did Kyle know that 2 Cup drivers would step forward, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. 2 races will be run by Chase, his hometown track at Atlanta, and also Kansas. Larson's race will be at Homestead. So Kyle's teammate, Denny Hamlin, shows interest, as does Richard Childress Racing driver Austin Dillon. So Chase and Kyle will be driving a truck owned by GMS. And here's some money. Chris Larson, a Homer Friesen Racing, has put $50,000 in a pot for any Truck Series regular driver, non-Cup Series driver, and wins against any Cup Series driver in the upcoming 20. But I don't know what the total pot. Well, so far, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, John Hunter, Brennan Poole, and Stuart Friesen are the only ones eligible to receive that bounty, the $50,000. So Marcus and Atlanta Motor Speedway will donate $5 for every truck Xfinity ticket purchased for the Busch Bounty.
Wow.
So, but I don't know what the total's up to. I haven't seen that. Anybody else?
I know it was 100. Harvey put up 50.
I saw the 100.
And Marcus Lemonis put up 50. But I thought I heard somebody over the weekend said there was another 50 on top.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Probably so.
Maybe Bruton Smith, of Atlanta Motor Speedway to drive tickets, because that race is going to be a double header on Saturday in Atlanta.
Oh,
they're going to run the trucks and the Xfinity on the same day in Atlanta.
Very cool.
So if you're in Atlanta, go get some tickets. Go over there and support old Bruton Smith.
Yeah.
That's a great track, man. That is a fun track. It's worn out.
Fast.
Asphalt.
Yep. That track I always said would set the drivers apart, the ones with the
I remember going there back the old configuration when it was a true oval, but when they decided to cut that back stretch and make that the front stretch, that was when Atlanta became a whole different track.
Yeah.
Double dog-legged.
So Terry, Janet Trevison's, hello everyone. Sorry, I'm late to the party.
Hey.
To the party. So
bring any beer?
Yeah. So Terry says, I'm so happy to see Maddie and the Wood brothers back in the top. And we got Suzanne McGuire finally joined in with us. She said, I finally figured out how to get the chat tab.
Yay. Thanks, Suzette.
I think it's taken her about 2 years, but anyway, yes, thanks for joining us. So her favorite Brad K was a great P5 finish. So yeah, there you go. And all right, so rolling on. We got some cold beer, warm beer. You got any cold beers, warm beers?
Yeah. I mean, my cold beer has to go to Ryan Blaney. Like I said earlier, he's really running a good, could be 3-0 at this point in the season, So my cold beer is going to Ryan Blaney. I'm not backing off the Blaney train. I love Ryan Blaney. My wife likes Ryan Blaney or loves Ryan Blaney. Yeah. We are on the Ryan Blaney train because I know it's going to be sooner than later for Ryan and Pull of No Checkered.
Yeah.
And we would love to see him be the first one over there, to grab the checker. And then what about your cold beer?
Let's see. I have Alex Bowman. Obviously, he was the fastest in both practices. Won the stage 1 of the race, making it his second win of his Cup career.
That was an easy
and he led 110
That's too easy.
200 laps.
That's just an easy one.
Yeah. Hey, but
he did look pretty strong, but we all bleed forward blue on this channel here. So
I
it's
get
hard
you,
to watch
for sure.
The red Chevy bow tie.
Well, and then the
there.
Xfinity race, Harrison Burton won, so that was the another cold beer. So and then Anthony Alfredo got his highest finish, sixth in the Richard Childress Racing and Xfinity. He comes from the Truck Series.
Do you know what we heard about Anthony Alfredo? Did you listen to that? He works for a company here that helps you set up the iRacing things, right?
Oh,
and he went to Chad Knaus's house, and they're setting up there in Chad Knaus's room. The steering wheel and all the column and everything. And and I guess Chad turned to him and said, "Hi, I'm Chad Knaus." And Anthony Alfredo said, "Hi, I'm Anthony." And he goes, "What do you do?" He says, "I'm a driver. I drive the 21 RCR car." and Chad Knaus didn't even realize it. So Anthony is going out and helping people set up the iRacing in their own home.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And maybe he's making them some pasta too. Anthony Alfredo.
And there's
Hey.
maybe so.
He's from Connecticut.
Good day,
Hey,
mate.
but he's actually working, for the iRacing folks.
There's something to be said about this iRacing and stuff, how it increases your reaction time and things like that. Now, who was it that come from that though? There was one of the drivers.
Oh, a lot of them. William Byron. Yep.
Sure.
Briscoe.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe did real well in iRacing. There's a bunch of them. I know you all. If you're watching us, you all love racing and you're race fans, right?
Yeah,
just like we are. And I don't know about David, but I have watched a couple iRacing races on my phone, dude, and it's pretty crazy, man. Yeah. You can't stop. You got to watch it, and especially Daytona, they were all off, and then they wrecked at the very end and everything. But the iRacing is pretty good.
I've done it before.
I haven't, but I would like to. But
it was a lot of fun, but. I was getting beat by the guys that had the better steering wheels and all that. And faster computers.
You got to spend money. Yeah. Money buys speed, no matter what you're iRacing or NASCAR race.
Yeah, that's for sure. So my warm beer goes to. You got any more cold beers?
Nope. I'm with Blaney.
Martin Truex, trouble on pit road, cost Martin a top 5 finish.
Not good for the number 19.
So and Christopher Bell, a bolt from another car put a hole in his air cooler. Bell's Cup debut isn't getting off to a good start, and he finished 21st at Daytona, 33rd at Vegas, and now 38th in the Auto Club race.
And everybody's picking him to be the leader.
Yeah.
Wow!
So
my warm beer is going to go to Jimmy Johnson's crew chief. Okay.
Oh,
I mean, here you boys, last race out there, man. You just got to pull out everything.
Yeah.
And he run in the top 5, top 10 all day and couldn't get it done. My warm beer's going to the crew chief for the number 48.
There you go.
Ally Chevrolet.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good call right there.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I had to think about that one. I wasn't going with like the winner of the race.
Yeah, the obvious ones, right?
Yes. Yes. All right.
So we're going to do a little NASCAR history and bio. And if you got any questions, you can go ahead and throw them on here. But I'm trying to add some more different segments into this to make it more interesting, I guess. And one that actually had a question today about the jack bolt. It went through, I think that was the one that went through the radiator or something. And they asked me what is the jack bolt? So the jack bolt's a long bolt. It's 1 inch. I think it's at least a 1 inch thick, big bolt. And it actually goes down and controls the amount of pressure on a spring, like in the suspension. So if you wanted to adjust your wedge in a car, you've heard them say that, which is basically you want to adjust, let's say you want to put a round wedge in the right rear, you would actually stick the wrench down in there and turn. Back in the day, you had a long extension you stick down in, but then they had the extensions. All you got to do is and you would turn it one round in, and then that would push down on the spring, the coil spring, and it would almost kind of jack the car, put a little more weight on the left front. That kind of stuff. So it would adjust the wedge in the car. So that's basically what the jack bolt is. And on the front, you had to lift the hood to adjust. So you really try not to have to adjust the front at all. You would do all that before the race started.
And did you see, while we're on jack bolts?
Yes.
Did you see during one of the commercial breaks this weekend, I guess one of the pit crew guys, they're getting creative, right? Yeah. They somehow mounted the jack bolt wrench to their helmet.
Oh,
so when they're out running around, then they got this thing, and then they do this thing, and they stick it right back to them, man.
Yeah.
If you watch I think it was the Xfinity race.
Okay.
They took a couple pictures. They did a couple shots. It was the jack bolt, and then it showed the picture of the new the tire, the socket gun.
Oh, okay.
And the new helmets. This dude had the freaking awesome. Had the LDA lights. Then has GoPro down here.
Yeah.
Almost looked like a spaceman.
Yeah. You imagine if I was doing that now still and I had the GoPro, I'd be having videos all over YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'd have one facing me.
I still look at the old pictures of you running around and you got your hat on and you don't look like you belong, because that was the way you do it. You just run out with no helmet on.
With no helmet.
Now everybody's got helmets on, but back in the day,
you
didn't care.
I would put a heat sleeve on my arm. I just had that heat sleeve on there because when I would, especially on short tracks, when I would grab the tire and like Bristol, the tire would come off. I'd have to grab it and I would get burned right across here on my forearm.
Oh,
surprised I don't have scars.
Yeah.
So I started wearing that heat sleeve.
Yep.
But the other thing that I was, oh crap, we were talking about jack bolts. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, I would, So then we ended up getting fire suits the following years after that, and that was that. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the bio history right here of some of the drivers, and one of them is Ryan Newman, and the other one I figured Ross Chastain would be good because he's filling in for Ryan Newman. So if you don't know anything about him, if you don't know Ryan Newman, of course he was born in December 8th, 1977. He's nicknamed the Rocket Man, and he's from South Bend, Indiana. But he also now he lives here in Statesville, North Carolina. But his achievements are 1999 United States Auto Club Silver Crown Series champion, 2008 Daytona 500 winner, 2013 Brickyard 400, 2002 Winston, 2002 Rookie of the Year, beating Jimmy Johnson, 2003 Driver of the Year. He has made 657 race starts over 20 years, 18 Cup Series wins, and top fives and 51 poles. He was the Rocket Man. He had all those poles back in the day.
Yep. And Buddy Baker, when he first came on, I remember when he was a rookie, Buddy Baker stopped and really spent time with him to help him. He wasn't well liked on the circuit when he first came on because he was very stubborn, and he still is tough to hard to pass. I mean, that's what we're knowing about Ryan Newman. But I remember a lot of times he would get the pole. I'll never forget Charlotte. I think it was the fall race here in Charlotte one year. He got the pole, and Gordon was behind him, and he led like one lap, but then the next lap he was on the hook.
Yeah. It's funny you talk about Gordon. I had a picture that I bought off of one of the people that would go around selling pictures, at the track. And I had a picture of Nemechek and Gordon, and it looked like they were side by side, and it was from the front of the car. I said, look, I showed it to Felix Sabatis. I said, look at this picture. Ain't that cool? We're racing against Jeff Gordon. And he said, that's a picture of Jeff Gordon passing us. And I was like, come on now.
As it was.
Yeah, pretty much. But oh well. Yeah, Jeff Gordon, I pretty much got tired of him winning all them races back in the day. But Ryan also, let's see, made his debut in NASCAR in 2000 as a driver for Roger Penske, where he raced until 2008. Then he drove for Stuart Haas from 2009 to 13. Then he drove for Richard Childress, which I'm not mistaken, that Penske Haas deal, it seems like it was, anyway, that goes into something else, but it was Penske building, and then Cranifus Haas bought it or something like that. All right, so Newman now drives for Roush Fenway Racing, but is currently sitting on the sidelines, obviously, after his wreck. We had a comment from Lonnie asking, so is anything going to be done or should be done about Joe Gibbs Toyota's keep failing inspections? This is 3 seasons in a row. It should, you know what? And it seems like it's always the same teams. I wonder if NASCAR will eventually be like, you know what? You're costing us a lot of time. You get, 3 failed inspections chance per year. And then I don't know. It's one of those things.
They're playing with very fractions of inches, right? 1/6 and 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
100th of a.
Well, and Paul brings up a good point. He says, Lonnie, I wonder if JGR puts a blatant fail so that the inspectors miss the real cheat.
Yeah.
It could be a diversion kind of thing.
That's happened before. You never know.
Kind of makes you think there. Things that make you go, So a little bit about Ross Chastain. He was born December 4th, 1992, just a youngin', 27 years old. He was born in Alva, Florida.
Alva, Florida.
Is that near where you're at down there?
I don't know. I need to Google that.
Yeah, he was nicknamed, and I've heard you say this so many times, the Watermelon Man.
The Watermelon Man.
So he's got 73 Cup Series starts, 1 top 10 over 4 years, 164 Xfinity starts over 7 years. And Ross started out racing at the age of 12 in Punta Gorda, Florida.
Punta Gorda.
Driving late models and fast truck series, where he won several races. In 2011, he won 3 of 8 races in the World Series on asphalt in New Smyrna, which is down in Florida.
Yep. Right outside of Daytona.
I bet Paul Rodriguez has been there many times.
Yep.
I'm assuming. So he also raced in trucks for RBR Enterprises. So then he made his debut in Xfinity driving for Hattori Racing, Waters Racing. Let's see. And now in 2020, Ross made his Cup debut on Premium Racing in 2017. The Xfinity drives full-time the number 10 Colleague Racing. So he is currently subbing for Ryan Newman on the Roush Fenway number 6. And so he has earned the moniker of busiest driver in NASCAR. So there you have it.
Yes. He drove all 3 races in Daytona, I think is what he did.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
And Terry Quinn says Gibbs is like HMS used to be, cheaters of 2020, and NASCAR turns a blind eye. You know, man, I'll tell you what, though, I used to be so tired of Hendrick Motorsports always getting busted for cheating, you know. Not always getting busted, but they were always trying.
Well, they're pushing the limit.
They were pushing. Yes, exactly.
You know, when you're a Toyota and you only got 5 teams out there, they're going to do everything they can.
Right.
Because the odds are stacked against them. So we all love Ford.
Yes, we bleed Ford blue, as you say, right?
That's right. First on race day.
So we're gonna open it up to some Q&A. But if you would, while I'm mentioning this, I would like if you'd hit subscribe and hit that like button and hit the bell notification. That way, when I go live, like I did tonight, I actually went live right on the spot, and then your phone will light up and say, "Hey, Hamm's on it." So let's go on there and chat with him. And also check out our WAME Radio Real Country 92.9 page on the Facebook. You will not be disappointed. You can also give us a like there, and you'll see whenever we go live in the mornings with our good real country music. Check out my podcast, Hamm the Engine Man, and also on DHammiam.com. And you can connect with me on all the other social medias on my website, because it's got links to Twitter and Instagram, DHammiam. So Terry says the last time Ford got a major penalty was in 2018 with Kevin with Toyotas and Chevys. It's weekly. It does seem that way. Tommy Fall says, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's right, Tommy. Just ask Smokey Eunuch.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the things I want to start doing in here is on this show is talk about the history. I want to pick somebody like, say, Smokey Eunuch and just tell all about them, because I love the history of NASCAR like that, you know.
There you go.
And I could probably just say, you know, especially the ones that are inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame every year, make sure I hit them throughout the year. Suzette says, yeah, I know. I thought Brad would retire at Penske, but I just want to see him happy. So if he needs to leave, I'm 100% in support of him. So, you know, I thought he was going to retire there. I thought he was like he was going to end up owning the place whenever Roger Penske, you know, passes on or whatever. But who knows? I mean, it's you know.
Well, you know, I mean, I heard a rumor that Hendrick passed on him, you know, because remember, he was driving for Dale Jr. Motorsports. So he was the apparent heir going into Hendrick. And then remember, Penske snagged him from Dale Jr.
Okay.
And remember, he was driving that Army car.
Yeah. Right.
So
years ago,
Dale Jr.'s helped out a lot of people. Same with Kyle Busch, but I think Dale Jr.'s doors are wide open for a lot of young talent, and he makes them
for sure
stars.
Paul Rodriguez says Beer Man Alva, Florida is off Florida 80 near Fort Myers.
Yeah. Tony Alva, Florida is what I call it.
Tony Alva, Florida.
Does anybody know who Tony Alva is?
Negative. Is he the guy that they named Alva, Florida after?
No, but it could.
Okay, he could have.
Anybody know who Tony Alva is? Anybody?
Anybody? I'm looking around. I don't see anybody say anything.
Bueller.
Oh, is that right? Bueller. Is he the principal or what?
No, that was when they were when Ferris Bueller was absent.
Ferris Bueller's day off. Oh yeah. I need to go back and watch
call, and nobody answered. Bueller.
Anybody
know who Tony Alva is?
I need to go back and watch that again. So yes, Tony
Road
Alva.
Racer. Nope. Poor Smokey.
And also, y'all check out NASCAR Country on Facebook. And
you
on
guys
Twitter.
don't know who Tony Alva is?
Tony Alva. Who's Tony Alva?
Look. I got some superheroes in my life. You know, one is my dad.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Richard Petty, Sterling Marlin, and I got Tony Alva right up there, baby.
Oh, he's up there with them.
And Stacy Peralta. You know who Stacy Peralta is?
I could do a Google search right quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You waiting on people to answer that? Because I got another question.
Brad, we just got race fans on here.
Brad was going to be in is he a skateboarder?
The old skate punk from the 70s.
When you said that, I kind of threw up a.
That's right. Not a NASCAR personality. Tony Alva's an old skateboarder back in the Dogtown days in California.
Yeah, and that's what Terry just said, knowing you, Scott, a skateboarder.
Yeah, baby. Tony Alva, man, he was the one that invented front side air.
Mike Bear says, what? Hold on. Let me say this right quick, and then you can explain that. Mike Bear says Brad was going to be in a Hendrick car originally, but Mark Martin took his place.
That's what it was.
Mark Martin. Okay.
Yep.
Rachel Rodman, I agree with Tommy. Smokey poked the France family too much.
Yeah, yes.
But he was a genius at what he thought of. Yes. And then, Tommy says poor Smokey may never make the Hall of Fame. Yes. So you're talking about front air.
Front side air.
Front side air.
Yeah, it's when you come out of the pool and your front side's facing the coping and catching air.
Oh.
Tony Alva invented that. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
And pools. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And a swimming pool it doesn't have water in it.
That doesn't have water in it.
Right.
Growing up in South Florida, I had two things: skateboarding and NASCAR.
Skateboarding and NASCAR.
Yeah,
See, I had wrestling and racing when I was growing up.
Yep.
Wrestling and NASCAR.
And then I found bluegrass.
And then bluegrass, yes.
Woo!
And speaking of bluegrass, we're supposed to have a show here at WAME on Wednesday nights. Probably, I think we're talking like 8 to 9 or something like that. 8, somewhere around there. And it's going to be a Wednesday night bluegrass show.
There we go.
So I believe I'm going to be doing the board for that show.
Uh-oh.
And so I'll be able to, interact with that because I love bluegrass and I grew up listening to it. So yeah.
And we can play your own bluegrass?
Well, maybe if I can get some practice in, if I can get my banjo out and start playing it again.
Songs.
Oh, yeah. I'll pick some songs.
So we'll do some like new grass.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a little bit of the new stuff too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mix of, you can't just say, oh, I'm just going to play all the old stuff.
That's right.
I mean, you could, but then,
it's hard to listen to Bill Monroe for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I love Bill Monroe. Don't get me wrong.
Well, there's a lot of new
or
stuff.
Bill Monroe.
We Banjo 3, we play them a lot.
Yep.
We put them on our local mix of 6. Terry says, saw a while ago that Premium Motorsports was sold to Rick Ware Racing. Oh, that was the latest news that came out.
That was today?
That was today, yeah.
So
Premium Motorsports sold to Rick Ware.
Wow. Well, see, Premium is our boys Scott Eggleston and Mike Hillman.
Oh, is he still? Are they still there? I mean,
well,
still a team.
Well, they punted Eggleston out because of what happened at Homestead.
Yeah,
but he's been still kind of around.
Yeah,
but you're not supposed to be there because he got.
Oh, maybe he'll get back.
He got suspended indefinitely.
Oh, indefinitely.
Yeah, that was when the whole Gaunt brothers filed a protest at Homestead.
Yeah. Wow, man, I like Scott too. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So I wonder. Jana says, Jana Trevison.
Who?
You know that girl, right?
Who? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thought so. She says, I wonder if the JGR cars were put together prior to Daytona and West Coast Swing, and before the transporter swapped out.
That's what happened in Vegas, honey.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in Phoenix next week. Because the trucks are going back, and I'm sure they're not going to want to start the rear of the field next week in Phoenix. So I'm sure Coach is going to lay the law down at a come to Jesus meeting.
I'm sure.
Yes.
So Lonnie Otten says if Brad does go, he goes. Put Blaney in the 2 and Matt in the 12. Just my thoughts. Matt DiBenedetto. You never know what they're going to do. That could be a very good possibility because I do believe Blaney's got more than what he's showing. I mean, he's doing better now.
He's so cool.
He's doing better.
He's old school.
Cool kid.
Yeah, he is.
So Rachel says you are either at God's house, your house, or at the track. Everything else is just to facilitate those top 3. There you go. Oh yeah. Tracy says, how about some blue grap too? Because I started my own genre because I do some rap. And then I do my bluegrass. So I started calling it blue grap.
Blue rap?
I always tell when we have bands come in, they look at me funny, but then they start laughing because, they got their own genres and they say, oh, I made up my own music, like Jed Fisher, and he's got his pimp grass, I believe it is. So I said, I got my own genre of music and because I do a little bit of rap, let me introduce myself. My name is True to Be. I'm a certified bona fide house organ Jim. I'm production MC anyway. And then I pick up my banjo and I start playing my banjo. So I call it blue grap. Anyway,
blue grap.
What do you think about
blue
that?
Crap? Blue grap.
That too. Terry says Todd Parrott was crew chief at Premium for a while.
Yes.
Speaking of Todd Parrott, I noticed Brad Parrott's been tuning in quite a bit on the radio. He was watching earlier today too. So we're gonna try to get I guess Brad, maybe
that would be awesome.
Maybe get his dad.
Let me tell you something. You get Brad or Todd or Buddy, or all 3 at the same time, dude. We're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
But yes,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We need to get
yeah,
them folks here.
Yeah, Buddy in here. And also our buddy John Bryan.
John Bryan.
And I was trying to get him to come tonight. You know,
All-Star Jackman, John Bryan.
Yeah. That's
maybe
right.
he'll come and see us. I keep telling him we're growing this. It's getting bigger.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of All-Star Jackman, I remember you always coming down pit road and saying 3-time All-Star Jackman, David Hamm.
David Hamm, All-Star Jackman.
It's basically the number of times that I was a Jackman during the All-Star race
event.
All-Star event. Yes. And that was back whenever, it was still all right. So whenever you'd have 10 guys pushing the car or whatever, and then I'm back there trying to get everything packed up. I'm like, guys, come on, help. A little bit of help would be nice.
And David was so shy back then. He'd be like, "Oh, come on, man!" And look at him now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now look at me.
Yeah,
well, see what I've tried to do. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What I try to do is do the things in my life that I'm scared of, because I don't want to be scared of them anymore. I don't want to be scared of going on the stage. And I say scared meaning like I'm intimidated by it. It's a challenge for me to do this kind of stuff, to talk on the radio, to get up in front of a bunch of people and talk. Whereas I used to be like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's very intimidating. Ever done a pit tour
before?
But yeah, I mean, stuff like that, would be, hey,
you got to have fun with it.
That's right. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it anymore. That's right. If I didn't enjoy doing this and talking to y'all or talking on the radio, I'd be like, you know what? I think I'm just going to stay home and work in my shop, because I enjoy that too.
Yeah, drinking beer is fun too.
But this is an outlet. Yeah, this is a way. And I, a lot of times I get free beer, obviously, and stuff like that, free food, whatever, free events, Merle Fest, things like that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and we got good people like Tommy Foss that tune in to us over here, right here at WAME, and Terry Quinn,
and Rachel Rodman.
And Rachel Rodman was tuning in this morning.
Treverson.
And Janet and Scott.
And don't forget about beautiful Tracy Hamm.
Tracy Hamm, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so the comments are love to get Buddy on here, and
yes.
Well, thank you, Rachel. You and Beer Man do a fantastic job. Yes, and John, Bunny Man, Brian. Maybe she must be talking about when he got hit by the car. He had to jump up. I'm not sure.
Yep, John got hit twice.
Oh,
he's one of the reasons why they had to wear helmets.
Right, exactly.
Old John Bryan.
Tommy,
we'd love to get him up here. I'm telling you, but it's just,
we'll work on that. It's just hard to get him to leave.
We might have to go down to his house and record one.
He needs to hire some. Yeah, that's probably true. He needs to hire some employees, and he could come out here.
He's got them, boys.
Okay, well, he's working on it, I guess.
This is their slam right now.
I'd say so. About to be, for sure.
And if you need any landscape done on that side of the lake, give John Bryan a call.
Also,
American Lawn and Landscape.
There you go. But I was going to say Buddy Foss, but Tommy Foss. Oh, Tommy Foss's stepmom. She races those Harleys and drag racing. And so I'm going to get her on here too.
Yeah.
Jeanette Thornley.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is married to Tommy's dad, Buddy.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're going to get her on here.
Yes, that would be very interesting.
And but Tommy's giving me a hard time about the clock tower bit. He said, "What about the top of the new studio?" So I went over there and I was going to climb up to the clock tower, and I go up this ladder. It's like, I don't know, it's 14, 15 feet up in the air, straight up. So I climb up here, and then I would have to turn around and go across this ledge and then get up here. And I'm like, it's not worth risking my life. But then I had to come back down.
You were doing a selfie on the top.
So I'm hanging on. Yeah. But I'll get there one of these days. But I told Hash he's going to have to wrap a rope around me and help pull me up, because if I fall.
That's why they make drones.
I don't want to, I don't want to go out that way. Rachel says it's a good way to have something to look forward to on Mondays and get us fans together. Yes. That's great. I enjoy it myself for sure. And Nancy says, love listening to Chocolate Myers tell his stories.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy has a video. I do too. He sent it to me. I was in the mechanics catalog. It was me, Chocolate Myers, and Sean Parker in the same page of the mechanics catalog.
How about that?
Yeah. So Terry says, I had my picture taken with John in Atlanta. He gave me bunny ears behind my head. Oh, I see.
Oh, so Terry knows John too?
So I got back at him and sent him some pink bunny ears. Okay.
There you go.
Yes. Terry's been around. She's been on all these
tracks
and met all these
big
people.
Ford man.
Yeah, for sure.
He was the heartbeat of old Robert Yates Racing for a long time.
Yep.
Kept that thing running. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We had a good time, and
Phoenix.
We'll look forward to next Monday and the next race.
Trucks are running too, right? So we got a triple header.
Okay.
No.
I should have had
trucks are running in Atlanta, so it's still going to be just Xfinity and Cup.
Xfinity and Cup
Saturday and Sunday
for Phoenix.
Yep.
And that's part of that whole West Coast swing, I guess, that they've started to say. It kind of makes sense for them to go to the West and then stay out there and then come back. I mean, it's,
You want to know what's going to be weird? Going to Homestead in a few weeks.
Oh,
that is going to be weird.
Yeah, I know.
It's just going to be weird, man.
Yeah. And then the last race being at Phoenix.
It's going to feel like the season's over when we go to Homestead. It's going to be the weirdest thing. So I don't know how everybody's going to handle
Right.
it. It's just going to be weird.
It's just going to be weird.
We'll get through it. But that'll be one of our first major changes this year because we got the doubleheader at Pocono coming up this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a lot of beer.
Yeah, it is.
You got a doubleheader on Saturday and a doubleheader on Sunday.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be great.
That's going to be real fun.
Yeah, but thanks everybody for the work that you do. Rachel and Terry, with the notes and then sharing on Facebook.
Yes.
And everybody that shared on Facebook.
Yes. And thank Billy Buck, WAME. We love you.
Yes, that's right.
Good job, Billy.
And good things to come in the future for this. And one of the things that may be happening is that this show will be put on to a live broadcast, and I can be talking to all of y'all on here and saying your name's live on air on the radio. So we're working on that. And I'm going to have my own backdrop and and we'll do some call-ins.
Yeah.
Once I get that, I'm going to have to get with our engineer guy and get the board set up to where I can do call-ins without having to wear the headphones maybe, or I can separate this from this. Anyway, this computer right here is this is what's running the radio station live. And then this computer over here is what we play music off of. So if I can separate and cut this off basically. So anyway, we'll get it figured out. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Hit that like if you like, and we'll see y'all next Monday.
Love you. Mean it. And
all right.